Hi bestie, welcome back to our cozy colouring Sundays. I'm so glad you're here because today we're actually diving into this really cute and cozy colouring page. Let's just see if we can find it. I think it's somewhere near the front of the book. Here it is, this gorgeous festive page, and I thought it would be really fun to do like a season split. I've been seeing a few people doing those and I thought it would be really nice for us to try it out, so we can kind of do like a transition from autumn going into like a winter Christmas time. If you haven't seen the last page we did, here it is. I did this gorgeous bookshop page and I thought it'd be really fun for our little character to carry on her story, and now she's doing a little sleepover with one of her girly friends. We're going to start with the autumn section. I'm just grabbing my pencil and eraser. I'm going to try and get it as central as I can and hope that's straight. So with our autumnal side, I think let's start with these little leaves here. I think a lot of you, if you already watch, you already know my combination for autumn leaves. I'm just gonna grab my favorite color combination. I love to start with a deep orange base and then do chrome orange on top, and then stipple in some cadmium orange and then some terracotta for some more depth. So I'm just gonna put these up here and we'll start with deep orange. Oh, I actually forgot, I need to put the protective sheet. Oops. There we go. Now we can start. And then going into chrome orange next. And for today's question of the video, I was gonna ask, do you prefer the like autumn, fall season, or are you more into like winter and Christmas? I think for me, I love just any cozy season in general, so I love both, but I just feel so excited when it comes to Christmas. I'm like a little kid. So I'm gonna have to go for Christmas season. I just love the music, I love Christmas movies, I love all the decor and all the sparklies. Yeah, it just makes me happy. Okay, and then going into cadmium orange, YR190. And for this one, I would just do like stippled dots, mainly at the base. And it's not a lot of colour difference, but it does add some really nice depth. I hope you can see that on your page if you're colouring along. And then just to help really bring that out, we're then grabbing terracotta YR5 and just literally doing the same. And then I'm just going to colour these little hanging bits in brown. There we go, and that looks really nice. And then moving on, I'm debating making this also autumnal or just making it like a plant. But I think just to really hone in the fact that it's an autumn side, let's just redo exactly as we did, starting with deep orange for our base for these leaves down here. I may need to move my protective page down. And then chrome orange. Oh, and if you are colouring along every week, please do let me know if you've got any like specific Christmassy pages that you'd love for us to do from either Girl Moments or from Cozy Cuties, and also from the fall winter colouring book by Bobby Goods. You can leave that in the comments and I'll try and make sure to do the pages you want us to do. And then we've got cadmium orange again. We're just doing those little dots mainly at the bottom. I think you can see a lot more on the leaves since they have a bigger surface area. And then we'll just do the same thing with terracotta YR5. Okay, fab. And moving on. To be fair, we do have a lamp here. Maybe I should have added a bit of a yellow glow. I might go in and just do that now. I'm just grabbing barium yellow, which is Y3. And I'm just gonna do glow from here and along this side of the windowsill. And we'll do this edge of the bookshelf, and then I will do the plants, like hanging leaves, but I'll mainly probably do it towards the end with an acrylic marker just because I forgot to do it at the start. And this is a bit of exaggeration. There's no way this little lamp could completely light up that whole area, but I think it just helps to set the scene. Okay, I think that's as glowy as we can make it. So, oh, and just here. Yeah, I think we'll keep it to that, and then I'll just do this little moon. And then up next, let's start doing this little character. And I've got eggshell white, that's E090. And just blending that in to where we've got the light glow coming in. And then over her hands. And then I'll leave that to dry a little bit. and we'll move on to her hair. I think we will give her like a bit of redhead, just to really emphasize the season. So we've got deep orange, and I'll just start doing a base layer of that all over. And then we're gonna take chrome orange. Actually, let's grab a slightly different orange. I'm just gonna grab quince. It's like a slightly paler shade of orange, and I'm gonna see if I can make this light glow a tiny bit orangey. Yeah, rather than just plain yellow. And I'm hoping that just looks more autumnal. I'm not completely covering up the yellow. I'm almost just doing like a second layer, lightly blending in with the yellow but going over around it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I think that's everything. And then using that same colour, I'm sort of just gonna blend her hair out. And then as we get further and further away from the light, I'm gonna use chrome orange, but not just sort of like on the tips of some of the hair, not all over. And then we'll do terracotta right on the back end of it. And I'm just gonna grab an in-between brown. Actually, I might be able to use marigold. I'm just doing little dots because I don't want it to look like such a harsh difference. Yeah, so we're using marigold, which is YR2, and I'm just gonna, blend that into terracotta. And I think that looks great. I'll leave that as it is for now. And then up next with this little cozy character, let's start doing, I think I'm just gonna do the window first and then I'll work my way because I have very specific colours I want to have in the window. So I'm starting with my yellows. So I'm just gonna grab yellow, light orange, and these purples. So put this away. And then I also wanted quince and chrome orange and maybe even cadmium orange in there. So we've got these colours for our sunset. So we've got barium yellow, pastel yellow, quince, chrome orange, cadmium orange, light orange, pastel rose, apricot pink, pastel violet, and then lavender. So that's kind of sort of the order I'm going to go in. But I will show you as I'm going. It's just a lot of blending. So we're going to start with our yellowy base. And for that, it's mainly just about getting a good blend of the yellows and light oranges. So we'll start with Y3, then Y1, then Y4, then Y170. Let me just put these aside. And I'm sort of just gonna open the tips of the markers since sometimes they can dry down quite quickly. So I'm just holding them in my hands to get around fast. I'm starting with Y3, which is our lighter yellow. And I'm just doing... Yeah, I'm just gonna go over the snow because I just want it to look like it's not snow. And then doing Y1 over that. And these two blend so well, I might not even go back over it. And then we'll grab Y4. And then YR170. And then going back into Y1, we're just gonna blend that into quince a little bit more. And then back into Y4, just to blend it up into the chrome orange a bit more. And then I'm gonna put these away, but keep my chrome orange. And then I'm grabbing these, grabbing chrome orange, light orange, cadmium orange. So starting with light orange, I think. This is more for my transition color. And then cadmium orange. And I'm just going to blend that with chrome orange. And just be careful around the black circles, they are bleeding a little bit into the colours. And then from here, I'm now grabbing my pink and purples. So I'm starting with Pastel Rose. And I will layer some cadmium orange over that since it is quite a pale pink. Maybe just some, yeah, let's do some cadmium orange over it. And then I'm going to do the tiniest bit of apricot pink at that top area. And then starting with apricot pink up here. And then grabbing Pastel Violet, which is P3, and just blending that upwards. Going back into apricot pink, just to blend that with the pastel colour. And then lastly, going into, it's a bit, going into lavender, which is P4 at the very top. But I don't want to drag that too down since that is a very deep purple. And then going back into Pastel Violet. And just blending that across. And back into lavender again, just to blend it down. I may need to just grab deep lilac as like an in-between I think maybe the jump I made was too stark, so I'm grabbing deep lilac and yeah, perfect. Just using that to blend those two purples together. And also a bit down into apricot pink. Yeah, so I think that's looking fab. And then I'll just use apricot pink for one last blend. Okay, awesome. So I think that's looking very autumnal, and carrying on with a very similar theme for those colors that we've grabbed. Let's do like an orange Fanta bottle for this, and we'll do like a purple label. So I'm just gonna do chrome orange and cadmium orange. So starting with chrome orange, and then going into cadmium orange on the outside. And then blending that with chrome orange again, just so it looks more seamless. Oh, gorgeous. And then I might just grab the Quincy color, which was Y4, and just where there's that light glow, just blend that in a bit more. Yeah, perfect. And then for the purple label, I think let's do pastel violet first, which is P3, just at the very front of that label. And then we'll do deep lilac, which is V160. And then lastly, we'll make it a bit more deeper with lavender, which is P4. And then I will use deep lilac to just blend across. Perfect. And then I think most bottles have like a silver top, but I'm just gonna leave that white for now, and then we'll see what to do. And I'm trying to think what else. Maybe let's have a think. Let's do the walls, or let's do the bookshelf and the windowsill actually. Yeah, I think let's do that first. So I'm just gonna grab my brown colors, put these ones away for now. So for the wooden details, I'm using, where did I put yellowish brown? Oh, there it is. I'm using yellowish brown, marigold and terracotta, and I'm starting with yellowish brown. So just gonna do that all over. Oh, I might need to just move this up a touch. I really need to find a protective sheet that actually fits my book size. Okay, so that's what we've got going on for now, and I just want to add a second coat to some areas. And I think the best thing to do is now move on to Marigold and just add that, oops, wrong side, and just adding that on the underside and also just roughly in the center of where we've just went over, or just on the edge. And just on the edge. And just in the center, just to create the illusion of it being more 3D, and just right on the edge here. Yeah, so I think that's fine for now. And then I'm just going to go in with terracotta just to really emphasize that. And then I'm just going to add some shading to these leaves here with that terracotta colour. And then just again over the outside of her hair. And then using Marigold just on the second layer. There we go. Okay, so our autumn side is coming together, and I think I want to add a little bit more pinkiness to it, or maybe some green. Yeah, let's add a bit of greenery to it. Let's see what greens we have. I'm debating between going the more olivey green route, which I think makes the most sense personally. So I'm gonna use GY43. Actually, let's use G190 first, which is just olive green. And I'm gonna do it in this little reed diffuser thing here. And I might mix it with some turquoise just to make it look quite marbly. So let's grab mint green light, so that's G4, and just do some very subtle marbly patterns. And then we'll also do some books on the shelf as that colour. So I'll do this book here and this book in the middle. And then I'm going in with mint green light as well. I'm trying to think where else green would make sense, and I'm thinking maybe the cup she's holding, that could be green, or maybe her jumper. I'm at a bit of a crossroads. Okay, let's not do anything whilst I'm debating. Let's just do the radio, maybe. Actually, let's do the walls. Yeah, let's do the walls. So for the walls, I wanted something quite strong, so I was going to do vivid purple, but now I'm not sure if I want to do vivid purple or if I want to lean more into lavender. And I'm thinking maybe lavender could work better. I'm a bit of a crossroad. Let's do... oh, I don't know. Let's do lavender. Well, let me do vivid purple first, just to get a touch of it. And then I think lavender is darker, just in case I'm not in love. I don't mind that. And then let's see what lavender looks like. We'll just do it behind. I think I prefer lavender, maybe. And then I think I'll do behind the bookshelves either that same colour or just do it browny. Maybe let's just do it yellowish brown to keep it a bit light, not too heavy. So I'm grabbing yellowish brown YR260 and we're just doing the space behind the bookshelf. And then let's do terracotta for those reed sticks, so YR5. And this little coffee table as well. We'll do that, terracotta. I'll leave the front of it so I can blend marigold into it. So I've got YR2. I'm just gonna I think that looks okay. Let's just blend terracotta into it again. And then I'm gonna grab yellowish brown. Yeah, I think that looks better. And then what's missing? We definitely need more of that pinkiness that we had going on there. So I think for her little cushion, we're gonna bring some of that pink back. So let's grab apricot pink, which is RV320, and I'll just put it on this cushion. And we'll also put it on a book on the shelf. Maybe a second book. And I think we're just missing maybe another vibrant pop of orange. So I'm gonna grab chrome orange, YR170, and we'll put it on this book here. And I think also the stereo, or maybe that could be a pop of a different color. Good question. Maybe let's put it on the little blankie she's got. Yeah, we'll do some sections orange. And we'll balance it with either, let's do a pop of pink. Yeah, let's balance it with some pink, or even with light orange. Actually, that could work better if I do. Actually, that still looks a bit orangey, so I think let me just balance it with some, I don't want to do a harsh pink though. Maybe let's do pastel rose R9. We'll see what we can get with that. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Just the right amount of pink. And same for her little lamp. I think we'll make that pinky colour. And we'll do the centre flower in her hair. Yeah, I'm happy with that. To be fair, I could even do that radio behind her, that pinky colour. I think that balances everything out. So sometimes I get questions on how I'm picking colours, and sometimes I have like a general loose palette in my head. So with this side I just knew purple, orange, pinks, and like a little bit of like a hint of green, and it's then just laying the colours out and trying to make sure I've got a balance, and I don't always get it right, but it's fun trying. And then using apricot pink, we're going to use the fine liner side and just do a little dotted pattern on that, and just colour this in, and then we'll use the brush side to just add a bit of depth to and shadow to the radio almost. And then same with the books, I'm just grabbing cadmium orange, and wherever I've got a lighter orange I'm going to try and just add a bit of shadowing. And then where we've got the lighter pink, we're going to use apricot pink and just add some shading. I haven't shaded correctly, but it will do. Just going back with my cadmium orange for this side. Okay. And then where we're left with the lighter areas, I think I do need to bring some more yellow back in. So I'm going to just make it look like the pizza box is like a yellowy colour. So let's get yellow dahlia and maybe pastel yellow and deep orange. I think we can create what we want to create. So with yellow dahlia, which is Y260, I'm just going all over the base of the pizza box. And we'll do it on this side as well. Let me just, oh gosh. So even though pizza boxes aren't usually yellow, to me that's just the colour that made sense to have there. And then I'm going to use deep orange to just create some shadowing on that, so then it doesn't look completely not normal. And we'll just do like some faint lines running down. And then especially on this side, make it look shadowed. And then for the pizza, let's have a think. Let's use like a pastel rose just to look like tomato base. And then I will go over that. I need to think wisely here. Maybe let's do chrome orange, if that makes any sense. And marigold for the crust. And then yellowish brown. And then I might just go over the box with yellowish brown just to warm it up a bit. And I'm just going to grab rose red to go on the pizza box. So that's R6. Not the pizza box, sorry, like the actual pizza slice. There's a bit of shading for the books and the radio. Okay, I think that's looking more balanced. And I kind of just wanted to keep her jumper quite plain. So I'm going to use Barely Beige and Powder Pink, starting with Barely Beige. Okay, I think that looks too much like a skin tone. Let's use Powder Pink instead. So that's R20. Okay, I think that's much better. And that reminds me, I do want to add some pink cheeks to her face. So we're going to use YR240 cream just to add some warmth. To her face. And then we'll do apricot pink on her cheek. Just to make it look like she's blushing. And I am thinking to just go over her jumper with like a normal pink, which is RV260. But to be fair, I think that doesn't look, that's just not done what I wanted it to do. Let's see. Let's do it with light orange, yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. I just wanted to add a slight hue. There we go. And then for her drink, I'm not sure. We're gonna leave that empty for now and we'll come back to that. We're gonna do the Christmassy side now. And hopefully it's a little bit easier than this side. So I think with the Christmassy side, I was thinking keeping the shelving the same colour but just changing like the walls and, you know, other little details. So with the Christmassy side, we're definitely gonna just go in with red and green. So I've got R6, GY43 and G190. So starting with G190. Or let me actually grab an even brighter green. We'll grab May Green, which is G170. And we'll start with that. And let me just move this down a bit. And then we'll use olive green and just do some shading. And We'll also grab the deep olive green. And then for this little throw, or let's do the walls first. I wanted to do them rose red, I think. Maybe let's do the throw first. So with the throw, we'll start with this side here. Okay, and then to balance it out a little bit, I did want to make that side have a bit more pinkiness to it. So I'm grabbing my pinks. So I think starting with Hollyhock, which is RV180, we're just gonna do some of the other spaces on the blanket, and I think I'll just make them like gingham style. Oops. Like a little candy cane almost. And I'll either keep it that way or go over it, but I think for now I'll keep it just stripes. And then we'll do the edge of this in a pink. Fab. And then also the claw clip in her hair. I'll make that pink. And I'm gonna do her skin tone, so we'll do cream for her. So we've got YR240. And then for her hair, we're gonna do Yellow Dahlia. And, or to be fair, let me grab my yellow so then we can add a glow around the area. So grabbing barium yellow again, and we're just gonna do what we did last time. Maybe this little strip here. There we go. And then using that, what colour am I gonna do? Let's do more pink. So this time we're just gonna do the actual like base pink colour. And I'm just doing that all over the plant pot. And this little cushion behind. And then we'll do a few of the books on the shelf. And next up, let's do, so I think I'm kind of wanting to add this green, but I just don't know if it will make sense. So we're gonna stick to olive green that we've got going, and I'm just gonna add it to a couple of books. Maybe she's drinking some matcha. Or some sort of green juice. Okay, and then let's do some pale ochre and just add some dimension to her hair. And I think I'm going to do the sky outside because I'm getting a bit lost on what colours to do on this side. So I'm just going to do the sky outside, and I wanted it to feel very wintry, so we're going to do a bit of purpley blue. I might just need to grab sky blue as well. Let's have a look. Okay, so got my colours that I'm starting with. I may need some transitional in between colours. I might grab mauve as well. Okay, so to start off with, we're gonna do, oops, we're gonna do thistle into, we'll do thistle into mauve into sky blue, and then we'll see how that's looking. I might even start with pink. So I'm starting with pink, and we're just gonna do the very base of the sky, and we'll blend that into thistle, which is RV160. And then we'll blend that into mauve. And I'm just blending that with thistle again. And then going up, we'll go into sky blue. Ooh. I've actually never used that blue before, but it's very gorgeous. And blend that down into mauve again. And thistle again. And then from there, the sky gets a lot darker. We're gonna do bluebell, but this could be, okay, that's not too dark. And we'll do bluebell up here again. Blending that down into sky blue again. And blending the bluebell down. And then as we go higher up, I thought we should add royal blue. So we've got PB6. That is quite a steep change, but that's okay. And we'll blend bluebell into that again. To be fair, they are blending quite nicely, so that's good. And then at the very top, we'll have Napoleon blue. And then coming down below, I just want to blend sky blue out again. And mauve again. Down into thistle again. Okay, I think that's a really gorgeous winter sky. And then now just trying to find ways to incorporate those colours into the shelf. I think for our lava lamp, we'll pretty much almost recreate that lower half of the sky. So I'm gonna start with thistle. And then we'll go into mauve. And then sky blue. And then lastly, we'll do bluebell at the top. And what else? Maybe let's do the walls. So for the walls, I was going to do them red, but I honestly don't know if that's going to be too harsh. So maybe let's do the shelves. Keep it safe. And I do have that really nice like peacock blue, which I think would look really gorgeous. I think I'll make this little bench she's sitting on. And maybe the base of the lava lamp will be that colour then. And I am tempted to put minty blue, which is not minty blue, it's called mint green light, over this green. I'm not as huge a fan as I thought I would be. Yeah, I think I like the look of that better. The green I'd used was looking too much like a summer green. I think that's giving more winter. Okay, I think let me just do the brown. I'm not loving this side as much as I thought I would. Okay, I'm gonna grab terracotta and marigold, and we'll just jump right in with marigold. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do it. We're just gonna do like a reddish colour. I've grabbed cadmium red, which isn't super red, so I'm just gonna see how that goes. And I might just do one red hook. And then for everything else on the shelf, let's do sky blue for the plant pot. And for the floor, honestly, let's do deep lilac. Yeah, why not? And I'll also just change this book on the shelf to deep lilac. And then I'll try and make this side look a lot more Christmassy than it's looking at the moment. And we'll use Bluebell to create some little speckles on the floor. That might be too harsh. Maybe let's do, actually that could be even darker. Let's do pastel violet. Maybe that's not dark enough. Let's just do Bluebell then. I am debating, do we just do a purple wall across both sides? Because I don't know if the red is working, but then I don't want to regret it. Okay, I might leave it alone for now. The main thing is I'm going to do something to split the page up and also add snow and glow and all that good stuff. So we're going to use the Jelly Roll 10 and I'm gonna create some bubbles of snow that's settled on the ledge of the windowsill. And I'm hoping that adding all this stuff will just make this side of the page look so much more Christmassy than it looks at the moment. Okay, so the window's looking more festive, and I'm just gonna add some highlights. And maybe like some stitch lines, but I don't know if that will translate. Yeah, I think that looks cute. And we'll do little snowflakes. We'll do some highlights on this plant and on the carpet a little bit. And then to add some depth again, I'm just gonna do a really soft outline of that terracotta. apricot pink here. Just gonna do that. And same on the books, just a little outline. And then I'm just grabbing sky blue again and do a little shading here. And I'll give her a glass of water. Yeah, I think this is actually looking a lot more well balanced. And I'm just gonna grab Old Red, which is R7, and using the fine liner side, I'm just gonna do some lines on the wall. And then for some of them, just do these. And to me, that's giving very Christmassy, a lot more than it was. And I'm gonna just make some of the snow falling a bit thicker. I think that looks great. And I could make it look like there's rain on this window instead. Hopefully it looks good. I'm just gonna and then outline. Okay, I think that looks like rain. And grab the yellow acrylic marker and just make the page look a little bit more glowy. And then to really hone in on the split, I'm gonna see what to add. I think I'm just gonna add like sparkly white dots going in between. Let me grab my ruler. I think let me make it a line first. I should make that little lamp red on this side. And the straw. Okay, I hope that's a nice enough split. I thought this would be a lot easier, but I think it can be hard trying to find colours that look well balanced across both sides. Oh gosh. Okay, I think to really take it home, we'll finish the lines with a black fine liner going down. Okay, I'm gonna tidy up and then I'll close off the video. So this is the end result. I absolutely love how it turned out, and I'm so glad that you stayed and you coloured along with me. I hope that you love how it turned out, and if you did colour along, please let me know if you decided to do anything differently or what kind of colour palette you ended up going for. And I will see you very soon for another video. Do make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more pages from this colouring book, and also comment below what your thoughts are on this page. I do my best to read and to reply to all your comments because you always leave such lovely, kind and sweet comments, and I absolutely love our cozy community so much. But yeah, that's it, and bye bestie.